Do you feel like you're stuck or find yourself attracting the same type of relationships and negative experiences, or just not manifesting what you want in life? Welcome to Heal Your Story. I'm your host, Heidi. Here we discuss all things life, love, relationships, the relationship with yourself, and the stories we tell about ourselves and others. I help people get out of their busy heads and get back in touch with their heart space to learn self-love and help heal their story. I'm a heart space and relational coach, a holistic health practitioner, and author at HeidiDelaire.com and LoveWideOpen.com. Let's go hold some heart space together. Hey, welcome everyone to episode 130, Self-Acceptance. What does it actually mean? And before I even get started in this, today is October 17th. Today is 1 year after I relaunched the podcast as the Heal Your Story podcast. So it's been 1 year. And other than a blip in April and June, I have put out a podcast episode every single week. And I'm going to actually pat myself on the back for commitment to continuing to do this podcast and provide help and support for others, and also to continue to heal my own voice. So with that said, hey, happy 1 year anniversary to the Heal Your Story podcast. Thank you for being a listener. So let's get into episode 130, self-acceptance. What does it actually mean? Self-acceptance refers to recognizing your imperfections and accepting them for what they are, rather than condemning yourself. And you can stop obsessing about yourself and what other people think of you. You can then focus on making changes that will help you feel happier. It might all seem easy enough. How many times has one of you said, easier said than done? Well, again, everything in life is easier said than done. Producing a podcast every week was and is easier said than done. Doing anything, committing to change, every single thing on the planet is easier said than done. So this is where rubber meets the road for yourself, and when and how you choose to make change or commit to yourself or fully love and accept yourself for once, right? Like finally, I'm going to love and accept myself. So again, it might all seem easy enough, but when you do a self-analysis, consider the question, do I accept myself? And it might feel kind of odd to ask yourself this question. After all, what does accepting yourself even mean? And don't we already accept ourselves as we live every single day? And it might surprise you to know that self-acceptance doesn't happen automatically. And there's a ton of people who struggle to accept themselves for who they are, even when they're delighted with their lives. Self-acceptance isn't about loving yourself. It doesn't mean that you're saying, I'm wonderful. It means you accept the way you look and the way you behave. It means you admit that others might not like you because you're different from everyone else. The meaning of self-acceptance. People define self-acceptance as accepting themselves for who they are, regardless of their weaknesses. They believe that this is the fundamental aspect of self-love. This definition is a widely agreed upon definition of self-acceptance, but many people may disagree. Think about the young people around you. How often are they saying, I accept myself? It's pretty rare. Some people don't accept themselves because they don't understand what it means to accept themselves. They believe that it means being happy. They don't know what happiness means. They don't realize that self-acceptance isn't the same as happiness. Accepting yourself involves realistically understanding yourself as a person. There are so many of us who just numb out and don't even want to see ourselves for who we are. And when it comes to, clinical psychology, researchers state that accepting yourself is the first significant step towards change. To accept oneself, a person needs to accept their inner qualities, strengths, and imperfections. They need to resist the urge to criticize themselves. So, what self-acceptance is not? When people talk about accepting them for who they are, some assume that means staying where you are without improving. It's one misconception about self-acceptance. But accepting yourself doesn't mean not trying to improve at all. It means admitting your shortcomings and then proceeding with self-improvement. Of course, accepting yourself is a good first step. It allows you to focus on your good qualities to feel better about yourself. It also helps you rid yourself of feelings of guilt and lack of self-esteem. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do anything about your life. It doesn't mean resigning yourself to your fate and leaving it all alone. It means recognizing your mistakes and then correcting them. It means being aware of your weaknesses so you can learn how to overcome them. And all of that comes from self-acceptance. So what steps can you take to better accept yourself? Well, you can become more compassionate about yourself and to yourself. Before embarking on this journey of life, many people find themselves in a cycle of berating themselves and wishing they were different. That can be stressful and highly detrimental to your well-being. So instead of constantly comparing yourself to others, take the time to appreciate the qualities you possess. And don't mind that you don't have the others yet. Be gentle with yourself when you go astray. Avoid beating yourself up. Show yourself compassion and understanding, and use your mistakes as motivation to increase your self-awareness. Love yourself more than you do now. What? Love yourself more than you do now. Just like showing compassion to ourselves, many people struggle to love themselves. They feel that loving themselves makes them selfish, shallow, and self-indulgent. That could not be farther from the truth. Being selfish and shallow isn't loving yourself, and being self-indulgent isn't loving yourself either. You do not love yourself enough if you don't treat yourself with the same respect and kindness with which you treat your best friend. But loving yourself is not something that you can do overnight. It would help you if you built up an appreciation and understanding of who you are and why you're in the world. Once you have that knowledge, it'll make it easier to learn to love yourself. Like really start to peel the layers of the onion of who you are. I think so many people feel lost because we aren't diving in to actually who we truly, truly are. And once you have that knowledge, it makes it easier to learn to love yourself. Self-acceptance isn't something that you can achieve instantly. It's important to learn to love yourself even if you don't always feel comfortable doing so. It's not a matter of feeling happy with who you are and what you have. It's a matter of accepting your imperfections without feeling bad about them. When you do that, paradoxically, you become happier because when you accept who you are, it helps set the tone for self-improvement and growth. And if you'd like, you can follow along for this self-esteem and confidence affirmation. You can just repeat after me, and when you have some time to answer the reflection questions, put them in your journal. And now for the affirmation. I grow in self-esteem and confidence. I believe deeply in loving myself wholeheartedly and without condition. I learn each day to honor myself and walk in the path of my true feelings, good or otherwise. I listen to my inner voice, cherish the messages of intuition, and am grateful for all that I learn. I experience unconditional love. I take the lessons I learn and implement new knowledge to improve my life. I am comfortable saying no. I have firm boundaries with friends, family, and lovers. I decided what feels right to me. I stand up for myself, acknowledge my values and beliefs, and communicate them. I can truly decide where and how to direct my energy in genuinely knowing myself. I choose how I spend my time, and I decide what feels right to me and use my resources accordingly. I draw a line in the sand. By protecting my power, I change my mind on my terms. I am comfortable taking control and facing challenging situations. In this process, I grow in self-esteem and confidence, and I learn to take each step on the path of truth and light. I let go of limiting beliefs. I allow myself to heal. I am strong and playful in my heart as I move through the world. Today, I release anything out of alignment with my higher self. I let go of the past. I let go of any limiting beliefs about myself and my abilities. I am in the present. I choose to live my life as an empowered person, and I accept myself in all my glory. Ooh, that's a good affirmation. I'm going to be doing that one a couple of times. So here are some self-reflection questions for you. Like I said, if you're driving or walking or doing something else, you can, answer them. But when you get home and you can bring out your journal, write these down. I think it'd be helpful to get it on paper. Self-reflection questions. 1, what apology can I make to myself? 2, what are my needs? 3, who loves me right now? I'll be curious to hear your answers. And if you're wanting to make a shift faster in your healing process and overcoming low self-esteem, come on over, fill out an application for a Heal Your Story strategy session. You can find it on my website, HeidiDelaire.com. The link will be in the show notes. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to another episode of Heal Your Story. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find me, my coaching services, my book, or book a Heal Your Story strategy session at HeidiDelaire.com. For other self-development articles, go to LoveWideOpen.com. And you can also follow me at Heidi Delaire or Love Wide Open on all social media channels. Thanks so much. Sending lots of love.